Hey my friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend, your day, whether that was spent with friends and family, eating food, playing games, just relaxing. Maybe you went on a camping trip, hiked up the mountains, I don't know, went for a walk, whatever you guys do for Christmas. I hope it was a blast, or if you just got to chill and play video games all day like I used to when I was a kid, man. Those are the days. Either way, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I hope it was a great day, great weekend. For those of you that had to go back to work today on a Monday, my deepest apologies and condolences. I know some people have to go back to work. Some people still have the day off since Christmas falls on a weekend this year, and people kind of got ripped off that way. So some employers are giving their people days off. Anyways, all that to say, glad you guys are here. And I hope you guys are ready to get into the video, because I am to an extent. I talked myself into, and then out of, and then into, and then out of, and then back into making this video again, for a couple reasons. I want to avoid constantly making videos where it feels like I'm just feeding into the doom and gloom mentality, because that's not really me. And it just gets drudging and old after a while, right? It just gets depressing. Nobody wants to go to a channel where they feel like the videos are constantly feels bad, man, right? I mean, there's a level of, and on the flip side, the antithesis to that could be nobody wants to go to a channel where it's all overhyped and it feels fake all the time, right? I feel like there's got to be a good balance between the two. So that was one reason I was debating not making this video, and another reason I was debating not making this video was because our boy Gold got to it first, and so I didn't want to seem like I was just copying or mimicking content from him. But I decided that I would weigh in and share my thoughts on it. This video probably will not be as long as any of the others on the topic, but I did want to weigh in on my thoughts about PvP, the state of PvP, the delay of handing out PvP rewards, the lack of PvP rewards, and of course the lack of participation in PvP as well. Now I will start off by saying that, of course, this is strictly my opinion. You have every right to disagree with me, and if you do, I'd love to hear why in the comment section. You know, I'd like to hear your thoughts, your perspective on this, just to get more. Just because I feel like the more perspective I can have on stuff like this, the more I learn and the better I am. So, as always, please feel free to leave any comments or thoughts on the topic in the comment section below. But one reason we do not have gameplay of PvP is because I haven't really been PvPing as much. So I feel like this would be the video where it would be good to have, you know, PvP footage playing in the background. We're talking about PvP. We're talking about Legion Season PvP 1 and Legion Season PvP 2. That was a weird thing to say. But I just don't have the footage. Part of that is I haven't had a whole lot to play just in general. I've had just about enough time to keep up with World Quest. I ran one Mythic last night and record videos. And that's been about it the past week. So that's a factor. The other factor is I just haven't been PvPing as much. Now, that's a shock to me, and that's a strange thing because PvP is my absolute favorite thing about this game. Raiding is fun, and I enjoy it. Mythics and Mythic Pluses are fun, and I really do enjoy them, and I'm enjoying running Mythic Pluses and all those things like that. But PvP, hands down, is my all-time favorite aspect of this game. And every aspect of PvP, arenas, right in the battlegrounds, world PvP, I do enjoy it all. I love it. But I just have not been PvPing as much this expansion, as much as I thought I would. And I think what's been kind of addressed has really been the core reason for that. I think the bottom line of it all, and just to kind of cut to the chase, is that it just doesn't feel as rewarding anymore. I'm not the super competitive person where I'm competing for bragging rights, although maybe I should be. Just because I feel like that's how I'm going to push rating and get, you know, a consistent team of players together to play. But I'm not. Without those rewards, there's just not a whole lot there to drive me. Even for the times I don't feel like PvP. Because before, even when I didn't feel like doing my arenas for the week, I would because I needed my gear, because I didn't want to fall behind. And I feel like in the long term, I was better for it because I was still playing and I was being forced to play to obtain a goal that I wanted. You know, the long-term goal that I had in mind far outweighed the temporary issue of I don't feel like it right now. Now that might seem weird for a game because it's like, well, if you're not having fun, why are you doing it? But the big picture, I was having fun because I was progressing my character. I had a reward in mind, I had a reward in sight, and I knew what I was going into. Because you know, every week I had it planned out what piece I was going to get for my points. And you know, PvP's gone through a lot of changes since its introduction into World of Warcraft back in vanilla. But it is definitely at a very interesting point because, for all intents and purposes, PvP has the potential to be the best it's ever been right now. And in some ways, I still think that it is. I still think that PvP is in a great spot when it comes to talents, honor talents, balancing it separately from PvE. Great. I love that. Love that. But the incentive and the rewards just aren't there. And part of that, I think, coupling that with the fact that I do not have a main team or a main group of people that I have to queue with or play with, that makes it harder as well. If I had a core group of people to play with, that might be a different story, and I might still queue, I might still play, and the rewards might not be worth it. Because for me right now, one goal that I do have in mind is a reward to me would be hitting 2K rating. I would love to get up to 2K, break through that ceiling, and be able to do that. But that's a little bit of a separate issue. But I mean, right now it's like, okay, so I've got my honor level back up to 22. I have my PvP talents. I've prestige once, which again isn't even that big of a deal. But again, just that honor grind, it just seems a little arbitrary as opposed to some of the other rewards we can get. Now again, I do like it. I think it's a great system, but I don't think it's in and of itself enough of a reward to incentivize PvP. And I think participation in PvP recently shows that. I think the quickest way to say this is that RNG elements for PvP rewards are not rewarding enough to incentivize PvP. You know, PvP, and I understand this is a tricky situation now because PvE is being balanced separately from PvP, so PvP gear is just as good in PvE now. So being able to target those pieces via PvP, but I don't know how else to do it. I don't know, because the RNG system for PvP, much like PvE, just isn't working. Because, you know, as much as I love putting points into my artifact weapon and decking this bad boy out and getting all my slots, and now my points are going to go into Unbreakable Steel, this was a cool system, but being rewarded artifact power or gold for an arena match or a battleground just isn't as exciting as guaranteed gear, as, you know, getting gear, as getting, you know, new gear and leveling up that way. So I don't know necessarily what might fix it. I've heard some ideas floating around out there. I've heard some bad ones and I've heard some good ones. But numbers don't lie, and PvP participation is down compared to what it used to be. We are handing out rewards differently. I know some of the high-end PvPers are asking to go back to a different system of splitting up how Gladiator has been handed out. But one thing has been made clear too with this current system of PvP, and that is that you know, things need to change as far as addressing cheaters. Things need to change as far as addressing what the cutoffs are for titles. I know that's been a big point of contention the past couple weeks as titles are being handed out. There was never any clear-cut answer from Blizzard as to what the cutoff has been or will be, and there never really has been, and it's always been very frustrating because, again, something that Asmongold pointed out in his video was, and that again is very obvious and totally agree with, is that there is no official Blizzard source for these ratings and where the cutoff is. You have to go to a third-party site that is doing guesswork. It's guesswork and a different type of theory crafting. There's no clear-cut ladder and rules based on, you know, so if Blizzard wants PvP to be taken seriously, and if they're trying to push it as an esport, which you could argue they aren't, depending on how they're treating the reward system, actual tournament rewards, that's just not going to work. And so they need to be able to offer this, and I really hope, and I feel like this is going to be one of those things where it's gotten enough attention where I do think it will be addressed. I will be shocked if this stuff is not addressed, as far as posting leaderboards that are attached to that are cutoffs for titles that fluctuate throughout the week or the month, however they want to do it, which is a big deal. But the biggest thing, just getting people into PvP. I don't think, I mean, Maybe the rewards for higher level prestiging will be worth it. I mean, I'm still looking forward to getting my artifact skin for it. The mount's kind of cool, that kind of stuff. But there has to be a little bit more. I don't know if, shoot, incentivizing PvP by offering unique transmog stuff. I mean, sure, you can argue that's all the PvP gears half the time anyways because of how we gear up in Mythic Pluses. But, you know, specific transmog sets or... I don't know. I really don't know what to suggest because everything revolves around the PvP talents and the prestige system. And I'll be the first to say that I was excited about it, and I still do enjoy it. But I think being this far into Legion now has shown that it just isn't enough reward-wise. There isn't enough incentive to continue queuing for PvP, which is a bummer for me because again, I love it, but I don't feel like it's worth my time right now, which is really gut-wrenching to say because I want to love it and I do love it, and if I could find a main team of people to queue with, again, I would be willing to bet that I would probably find a lot more enjoyment in it because I'd be playing with friends at that point, and a lot of times playing with friends is its own reward, right? Which is why I enjoy PvE so much. This expansion is not because I necessarily enjoy PvE more than PvP, though the PvE has been phenomenal this expansion compared to others. I mean, it was great in WoD 2 as well, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the PvE to me has been more enjoyable this expansion than any other. But for me, it's because usually I'm queuing with friends because we're doing dungeons and we're running old stuff or we're doing world quests together. So that in and of itself is its own reward, at least to me. I know that sounds really cheesy and like a Hallmark card, but yeah. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on the matter. Sorry for rambling on a little bit. I know we said we're going to keep this one short. Hopefully this wasn't too long for you, but those are my thoughts on it. I don't know if I necessarily have any suggestions. Of course, if you guys do, I'd love to hear them down in the comment section below. As always, be open to a discussion. I'm down for it if you are. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. That's all I got to say. Again, sorry for no gameplay footage per se. Just the ramblings of an old fool, I suppose. But I would really love to see Blizzard take a look at this stuff. And again, obviously not this video because they're never going to see this video. But feedback on forums, you know, taking a look at the subreddit, you know, even though this subreddit is about toxic, if not more toxic than the WoW forums. But you know, take a look at what PvPers are saying, like some of the top rated PvPers and stuff like that. Just what are they saying about the state? Because they're, you know, I don't want the entire game to necessarily revolve around what they're having to say, because there is a mix between creating a game for a hardcore and a casual audience. It's got to marry, it's, you know, somewhere in the middle. But they know what they're talking about when it comes to PvP. And they are your core audience, and I think it's important to take into consideration a lot of the things that they're saying, and at least consider implementing them in the game. In situations like this, a discussion and discourse are only going to help Blizzard, and that's my 2 cents on it. So, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. If you're looking forward to more content, I do have more coming for you guys very, very soon. Today, I am on my way back to Micro Center, the store where I got all my parts for my PC, to get a new case. Because the case I bought for it all was too small. Sad day, man. Sad panda for that one. Installed the motherboard and started getting all the stuff set up in there, and I started putting in the radiator for the liquid cooling system, and it didn't fit. It even had a fan that I could slide up and down on the back to where I could try to adjust it. Didn't work. So I'm going to take the case back today, get a new one. We'll have that up and running by this week. So hopefully, again, at this point, it's just another bump in the road, and it's like, par for the course, whatever. We'll get it done. So that's upcoming this week, of course, and Vlogmas will continue throughout the rest of the month. But again, said it before, and I'll continue to say it again. Thank you again so much for your guys' support, your love, your comments, the likes, the shares, everything you do. Reaching out to me and just conversing with me about everything and nothing at the same time on Twitter. I think it's awesome. So thank you again, and I'll catch you guys next time.